This weekend, every single time I pick up my book to read, I'm going to start my timer on my phone and I'm going to stop it every single time I stop reading. Because I'm curious, how much am I actually reading when I do these weekend readathons? And how much am I spending in the la-di-da-di-da land? Now, last time I did one of these, my cat ended up stepping on my timer, so wish me luck that that does not happen. And the reason I'm doing this is I'm hosting a weekend readathon right now called Pageathon. I'll leave the announcement video down below. At the time of seeing this video, it will be too late to join. However, there is potential for this to happen again, so I would definitely keep an eye out on all of our channels, as well as we do a lot of page count readathons on our Patreons, sometimes together, sometimes separately. I'm just gonna leave everything linked down below for you to check out. And even if you didn't participate, you can enjoy the vlog and see if I'm actually productive at reading. I have a feeling we're not gonna be that productive. I have a feeling I spend a lot of time staring at a wall. Even though I have literally nothing planned, I prepped a big batch of tortellini soup so that I didn't have to do dinner. I've told my boyfriend that I'm unavailable all weekend. I have even pushed my gaming addiction to the back of my mind so that all I did was read. But I have a feeling that it's not gonna be that productive. I just know that I stare at a wall a lot. I just know. I feel it in my bones and I'm hoping this timer proves me wrong. Now the readathon starts in approximately 2 hours from now. I'll talk to you about my first read. I ended up going with Whispers of the Deep by Emma Ham and I'm very, 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 very excited for this one. I have never tried Emma Ham before, but I have heard so many good things. Since I put this on my TBR for this weekend, I feel like I've gotten so many comments being like, you're gonna love this, you're gonna have fun, and then you're gonna want to read all of Emma Ham. And if you haven't seen that TBR, here's like my pile of possibilities for the weekend. As I said, I really know nothing about this. I just have seen so many comments saying how good it is. And then the only other thing I know is that the merman has 2 thingies. And that feels like a lot of thingies going on. And then I read the dedication and I really laughed at the dedication. So I'm expecting this just to be really fun and I'm hoping to have a really, really good time with it. Okay, I just heated myself up a bowl of soup, so I figured now is also a good time to kind of talk to you about the book. We are 2 hours in essentially, but I have read for 1 hour and 20 minutes of that, and I think that that's pretty good considering like we talk for sprints and stuff. I wish it was a little bit longer than that, but also this last sprint I spent heating up my soup and talking to Nick and stuff. I'm gonna be okay with that aspect. I think I'm gonna say like that's still pretty good timing, but I'm worried it's gonna drastically keep going down and I'm not going to be reading much in the reading portions. But I'm 100 pages into this, which does in my brain also make sense. 50 pages per hour feels like a really good speed for me actually. Like I would say 40 to 50 pages is probably my average. This is not what I expected at all. It's very much slower pace than I expected and less unhinged than I expected. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because the term monster smut and monster romance makes me think of the ones that I have read that are like very quick, very fast to getting smutty and very much just about the romance and the smut with the monster and less about like the world building, the characters and their personalities. It's just like an unhinged good time. And so far we've spent a lot of time in this like building up the world building and our characters and I am enjoying that. We have this city that's under the water and I think all of humanity is now under the water is what it seems like. We're not really told why, but there is like a note at the beginning of this being like suspend some of your disbelief, and I think I am trying to be more like lenient with needing all the informations because this is underwater and she's like, I don't know that much. Like the pressure would probably kill regular humans. I'm not claiming that any of this is factual. I made up things that help them breathe underwater, things like that. So I'm trying to just like give it that, if that makes sense. But essentially humanity's living underwater, but they have these like big cities, but essentially there's these creatures that also live under the water and that's what our merman is. And his people and the humans hate each other and they just kind of like blindly kill each other. They cannot communicate or anything like that. But one day our main character sees him, this strange interaction where they end up saving each other and they kind of have this like owed debt and they feel some sort of way about the other one. In the end, he ends up kidnapping her and taking her away, and that's where we kind of are at now. And I'm a little bit worried that this is going to dive into too much of the two of them. It's going to feel very, very like isolated, I think, with these two characters, which is not my personal favorite. I prefer having a story with like lots of characters and things like that. So I'm not 100% sure I'm going to enjoy this after that, but considering I spent 100 pages to get to like the first premise of this, that has me feeling like really intrigued about reading more from this author and maybe seeing like what they can do with the world building and the character work and stuff like that, even if I don't love this. Currently, I'm still enjoying it. I'm having a good time. I'm just hesitant about some things coming up. I need to stop yapping because I want to read and I have to eat, and there's just not enough time in a 48-hour readathon. I do this so often, but I hate that I just updated you like last clip saying like I was enjoying the book, and now this clip is going to be me DNFing it. I have made it to page 140. I'm on chapter 15 of this. I've been reading for 2 hours and 5 minutes, and we are 3.5 hours into the readathon. I am finding myself getting like drowsier, and I think it's because I'm just not super engaged. And for me, I think it's because at this point, the book is just the two of them. There's no other characters. She has 0 friends. Like, we made a point to say she has no friends elsewhere, and that's just like not the story I want to read. And he is currently also isolated from his tribe. It's just the two of them in a cage, and they don't even speak the same language. They speak separate languages, and so they have to like learn to communicate with like hand gestures and stuff. And I was liking that at the beginning. I was like, oh, this is interesting to see like how they communicate. And then I just got bored of it real quick, where I feel like there's nothing happening. I like my stories to have a little bit more of a plot leading them through than just character moments. And right now it's just the two characters having character moments, and there's not like any action happening. I like a faster paced story and some action. And for a 48-hour readathon, I just don't think this is the right read for me right now, because I'm starting to lose my energy and I'm getting tired. So I've decided to stop it there and DNF this one. I could potentially come back to this either later on in this readathon or in another time, because I didn't hate the writing. I just feel like it's going to be a 3-star and I'm bored, and it's just not what I want right now, which I think is a very valid feeling to have when reading. Sometimes I can love a book at a different time, and I don't know, I'm not typically someone who likes stories with just two characters interacting. So I'm also kind of just like knowing myself, and I think that this could go downhill real quick for me, and I just want to stop while I'm ahead and not feeling like slumpy because I didn't like the book I'm reading. I think I need something fast-paced, so I'm thinking about leaning towards horror. And I think Best Offer Wins is going to be my best bet for like fun action-paced. I am feeling it right now. Like, something hit me and I am very, very exhausted. So I'm hoping that I can jump into this and just feel instantly like intrigued. It has pretty big font. It's not a lot of pages, and it's a standalone because it's a thriller book and it's supposed to be super, super unhinged. So hoping for the best with this one, and we're gonna dive into reading this one. Hoping for the best with this one. Good morning. I just woke up. We ended up calling it a night around like 11-ish last night, and I'm not gonna lie, I was tired. My head hit my pillow and I went good night. So I think I slept for about 8 hours. I woke up around 7:30, probably fell asleep at like 11:30. We are 15 hours into the readathon now. I have not read anything more than when I did last night. So I'm at a total of 3 hours and 43 minutes currently. And I left off Best Offer Wins at 80-ish pages. So we're gonna buckle up and we're really gonna grind this morning. Mel, Lexi, and Monica are already on sprints. I'm in the earliest time zone. So I was cuddling with my cat, and then I just got up, I showered, and I'm gonna go make a coffee as soon as I hear that Nick's awake, because I really feel like I need probably multiple coffees today. I'm feeling tired. I think it's also because I'm just like not super into my books. I think I'm slumping, which sometimes a 48-hour readathon can push me out of a slump, and sometimes it's like not good during a slump. I was really hoping that this would be like fast-paced, unhinged. It feels a little bit more character-ish than I was expecting. I was expecting it to be a lot more like thriller-y than what's happening now, but we are still in the setup of our main character like finding this house that she likes and trying to get it at any cost. And so she's like befriending the people who live in the house, and she's like stalking them on the internet, so she knows exactly what to say to befriend them so that she gets a like off-market house sale. Like, she's trying to get it before it actually goes to market with no agents and stuff. It's fun to watch her lie, but I wouldn't say that anything feels like crazy at this point. I was kind of expecting more like maybe she would like murder them or like something, or like threaten them. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't just this like chill stalking on the internet vibe. Which isn't chill, but like the way it's written, our character feels very, very chill about it in my opinion. But I am just intrigued to continue it. And I think I wanted something a little bit more action-packed, so I'm not sure this really hit what I wanted it to hit. But I'm also like, I think it's me, because there's also a book that I've been loving that I haven't finished yet. I haven't picked up a book before this in like 5 days. I'm definitely slumping a little bit, a lot of it. So I think it's me, and I'm just gonna push through this one, I think, because it's so easy to read. And I'm not hating it. I'm just like not obsessed with it the way I was hoping to be obsessed with. And I think that is a valid response, but also I think that's me. So that sucks. My parents literally just stopped by my house in the middle of the 48-hour readathon, and they have been participating in it, and they gave me a little supply basket for the weekend, which is so cute. We have been doing Bean Boozled for the readathon. How this readathon works is that when you submit your pages, you submit it to like a redemption, and when we hit a certain amount of pages for that redemption on sprints, we're doing something. And so one of the things that you can make us do is play Bean Boozled, and we have these like really spicy Bean Boozled. And the reason we did this is because like I have so much childhood trauma from my dad making me do like the Bean Boozled stuff, and my dad has been doing it with us just for fun because he loves things like this. So he bought Warhead jelly beans for me, and he bought one for himself, and he said, for your next Bean Boozled, instead of us doing a spicy one, let's do one of the super sour ones and see how that works. So I love sour things, so this is right up my alley, and I'll probably just eat these for fun. But of course I'll do a Bean Boozled with him. And then they just got some like more like nostalgic little treats for me. I don't know if I've ever had these, but I'm willing to try. Also some more sour ropes, which are some of my favorites. These little like candy thingies. I think these used to be like cigarettes when we were younger. And then bubble gum and rocket blast rocket shops. So that was very cute of them. Like I have really big front windows, and I just saw their car pull up, and I was like, what are my parents doing here? My mom was like, I have to go because I have so many pages to read, because they're both participating. My parents are really supportive and very lovely human beings. I got a little basket from them, and that's very cute. We reached the point of the day where I'm going to make a dirty soda. This was actually voted on sprints. We put little polls up every once in a while for things that we could do, and I asked them what type of drink I should have, and dirty soda won. I'm actually going to make myself a brand new recipe that I've never tried, because I do have this like cherry lime syrup that I think could taste really good in a Coke. If you've never had a dirty soda, it's essentially a way to like spice up your pop. So it's a pop of some sort with creamer and like flavoring in it. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to put cherry lime into my cup, pour the Coke and the ice in, and then I think I'm going to make a vanilla cold foam, because I think that will taste good too. Cherry lime vanilla Coke. That could have a lot of things going on, or it could be absolutely delicious. And then after I make this, I'm actually going to get ready and probably listen to an audiobook or get ready and talk to you about the book, because I did finish Best Book for Wins. This tea smells really artificially, so I'm just going to put probably like a quarter of a tablespoon in. I can always add more after. And then before I put the Coke in, let's work on the cold foam together, which for the perfect cold foam, there's a 3-to-1 ratio. You're going to put a tablespoon of whatever you want the cold foam to taste like. So for me, it's vanilla. And then 2 tablespoons of milk. And then to get it to be like delicious and essentially just be whipped cream, you're gonna do 3 tablespoons of cream. And then we're just gonna put this on the thing to whip up and froth up. Once your cup is ice into it, pour your drinky drink in. Any soda of choice. I've seen people make these with Coke, Dr. Pepper, Diet Pops, 7-Up, Sprite, like really whatever you like. And then the flavorings can also be to whatever you like, which is a lot of fun. I love the smell of a Coke. And you can see my cold foam is all like whipped and frothed in there. And we're just gonna pour it on. I like to stir mine in because I like it to be like creamy, like a float. I think if you've ever had a dirty soda, that is the best comparison, a float. I think my other concoctions are a lot better. I feel like I can't really taste the cherry lime. This kind of smells like medicine, so I need to be careful. Oh yeah, okay, a little bit more was better. I want to be able to taste the cherry, you know? Now let's take this and go get ready. Okay, Best offer wins. Let's talk about it. I'm giving the book 3 stars. I'm actually kind of sad because I did actually really like the ending of it, but I personally thought the whole story took too long to like pick up. I could have made this, I think, 100 to 150 pages and I would have been fine. And it's kind of interesting for someone like me to say that because I'm typically someone who always is rooting for books to be longer. I always want more to them, but I think it just took too long for me to get to the point of like where I actually cared about like this character going unhinged. And also I feel like I wanted it to be more unhinged than it was. I feel like it was a little bit more toned down than I was expecting just based on reviews I had seen of the house. And maybe that's saying something about me that I was like, I mean, you're buying a house, it's not that unhinged. It was unhinged, like don't get me wrong, I'm not doing any of these things, but I just think it could have been more wild than it was, or like more twisty and more turny. And I think that's what I like in thrillers, is a lot of action, a lot of twists, a lot of turns. And I just felt like for me, this book was missing all of that until pretty much the very end. But like the beginning was very slow to start. We really got to know our characters and stuff, and I think that's why this will work for a lot more people than it did for me. But as I said, I really did enjoy the ending. I liked the twisting and the turning that happened in the last like quarter of this book. I think I also did like a lot of the commentary in this. Part of the reason I really wanted to read this book was because of how recent buying a house was for me. And I don't live in the United States, I live in Canada. So I'm not in the exact same like area of house buying, or we don't have the exact same housing markets, but it's very factual that housing market is in a crisis right now. There's something wrong with the housing market. Like the commentary on what the housing market is right now, I feel like really did hit for me because we bought this house in September of last year and we had been looking for 2 years. So like I understood the like defeatedness of like putting offers in and having a bidding war and being like at the max of your budget in this bidding war and just knowing you're gonna fail miserably because they're gonna get 20 offers and it's a competing market and your thing is not gonna be good enough. Like the house we put a thing on before this house, we were 60,000 over what they asked for, and we thought that was over what the house was even worth, but we had like wanted a house and we liked that house and we were blown away. Like we weren't even close to getting it. And like when we did it, our realtor was like, yeah, you're putting in a really good offer. Like this is a competitive offer. You have a good chance. Like you might be like second place. And we were like, okay, cool. If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be, but like we wanted to at least have a chance. In the end, I'm very happy we didn't get that house because this is my dream house. House is so much better. But even on this house, we were really lucked out. And I think that's the thing about the housing market is just like how much right now you have to luck out. And so I understood as she was like looking for this like lucky break, this like off market thing, I understood. That's not what happened to us, but essentially the owners of this house had a really quick turnaround. They had a house they already had purchased and they were needing this house to sell so that they could have their offer succeed in the one that they had purchased or whatever. Like they needed the equity or whatever from selling this house. And I think that if they had had time, they would have sat this house on the market and taken more offers, and our offer would not have been enough, and we weren't willing to go above pretty much what we offered. So like I did luck out with just like the owners of this house needing a fast turnaround time, because I think this house was worth more than what we paid for, even though we paid over asking for it. And so like I was in it with this main character. I think maybe that's why I also was like, this is less unhinged than I thought it would be, because like I kind of just understood it. Like I really innately got her brain, and I don't know what that says about me. Yes, she is unhinged. She was stalking people. I'm not stalking anyone. But like the feelings she was having around it, I really understood. I feel like the feelings in her relationship in a lot of ways were probably very much relatable for a lot of people. Not me, but I definitely can see it being this like whole thing. Like there's a conversation with the 2 women at dinner talking about how much they despise their husbands and how they still love their husbands, but they hate their husbands. And I was like, this is so relatable in a long-term relationship. And I loved all of that. I loved the little commentary the author put into this story. I loved how real the feelings all felt, even with this unhinged main character who could go off at every single moment. I really think just my expectations were set a little bit differently for this book. I was definitely expecting a more action-packed thriller, just from everyone talking about how unhinged the main character was. And then I think I was also just expecting, I don't know what I was expecting, but it just wasn't this. So I think that did affect my enjoyment as well. I've actually barely gotten ready, but I have have nothing really else to say. I would definitely recommend this to more people. I enjoyed it. I'm giving it 3 stars, but it's not necessarily something I'm going to be screaming about all the time. But I do think a lot of like this housing market stuff will stick with me, and I did relate hard to it. I also think that if you're looking for something unique, I've never read something quite like this in its style and in its story. And so I think that that also really screams some bonus points for it as well. I'm gonna finish getting ready because I think the sprint timer is literally about to go off. And then I'm gonna pick up an audiobook. I'm not 100% sure what I'm picking up next, but I do think I want something audio-wise because I'm having troubles focusing on words on paper right now. And I think I need to like walk around my house, maybe do some stuff while still listening to a book. Oh, also, I don't know where my phone is right now, but I will screenshot what my timer looks like and put it on the screen for you as well. At this point, I'm hoping that I've just read for half or just under half. I think 20 hours would make me happy, with like 8 hours of sleeping is 16 hours. And then the rest of it is yapping and stuff. So I think I'm hoping that I read at least 20 hours. I was hoping for a lot more than that though, but it is what it is. Okay, we have moved on to audiobooks. I am at my computer. I'm playing Disney Dreamlight Valley because I haven't done the Star Path at all, and I figured this was a way to like make it feel a little bit different for the evening. So I'm listening to The House of Idle. I am 3 hours and 30 minutes into the audiobook, which is around 51%, and I'm also at 7 hours and 13 minutes of reading time on the timer, and then we are about 24 hours in. So I have definitely been staring at a wall, but like we do little things on sprints. Like we just had a competition to see who could like draw the best, and that was a lot of fun and had a lot of laughs going on. So we've been doing little things like that. So sprint chatting has definitely taken a little bit longer because of just like the interactions we're having with this readathon. Chat got to vote like who could draw the best and whose drawing they liked the most, and it was really funny. I don't know how to feel about how much I'm reading according to this timer. Now the book, House of Idle. This is by Delilah S. Dawson. So I've read 2 books from this author before. I read Bloom and then I read Guillotine. I loved Bloom. I gave that one 5 stars. I liked Guillotine. I'm liking House of Idle, but I'm also a little bit bored by it. But honestly, also even in Bloom, I feel like at the point I'm at, I was a little bit bored, but like the ending really like made it a 5-star for me. So I don't know how to feel. I just feel like not a lot has happened. This is like a cult story. We're following our main character who loses her job and she wants to make it big, but she doesn't want to have to go home and ask her parents to like take care of her again, you know, like ask for money, ask for a place to live, when she's offered this like strange contract for essentially a cult for like musicians and artists and stuff like that. And so she joins it and she's like, this isn't a cult, this isn't a cult. And then like there's things that are like, clearly this is a cult. I feel like not a lot has happened. And it's a very short story, so that like really terrifies me. I feel like the setup is almost too long maybe. I'm not 100% certain. I'm gonna continue listening to it because it's just like such an easy read, and it's nice that I can like do something else for the meantime, and then I can switch over to a physical book for this evening. But yeah, that's kind of how my day is going right now. Okay, I just finished House of Idle and I hated that. Hate is a strong word actually. I just feel like it was really boring and predictable, and because of that it wasn't worth it. I feel like typically like I love the twists that come at the end of Delilah Dawson's books, and that has made each book better for me and the slow pacing worth it. But I wonder if it's just a pattern that I'm like too familiar with now, that like I was guessing this one like right away, versus when I read Bloom, there was no chance I was guessing the like twistiness, especially in the like last pacing of it. But I honestly just feel like nothing happened in the story until like literally the last page, and I don't know, I just wasn't here for it. I feel like it's a story I've heard kind of done before, and I don't think it brought anything like unique to the story for me. I think I'm giving it 2 stars just because based on my own enjoyment, I personally cannot recommend this. But like there's not necessarily anything innately wrong with it, but like I count a 3-star as a book that I still liked and will recommend, and like I'm just not recommending this to anyone. It was easy to read, it was a short read, but other than that, like I don't know, it wasn't for me. I could see someone loving this, like I definitely could, but like that person is not me, and it's probably not someone that I'm actively searching out to like give recommendations, since I recommend and read more like romantasy. I feel like the horror I read kind of matches the romantasy I read. It's like fast-paced action, twisty, fun, really keeping you turning the pages, and for me this was just not that, and so that's kind of where I'm sitting there. I don't know what to do next because I'm having a good time playing Disney Dreamlight Valley, and I would not be mad if I like kept playing, but that means I do need an audiobook. And then also, we're not that far away from picking our next read for the readathon with like all the redemptions. We're 60% of the way to the stream picking our read. So I'm like, do I wait for that? I don't know. Also, I've been reading for 7 hours and 48 minutes so far, which is not good. I have been staring at walls, and I don't know when I've been staring at walls. Like, that's the worst part. It's like, I took one sprint off to eat dinner, and then I've had to do like vlog updates, but my vlog is not that long. And then obviously we've been yapping and I slept, but I just feel like I should have been reading more, and I'm like not sure where the time went where like I'm not reading. And that's interesting. Very, very, very interesting. And while I procrastinate picking what I'm gonna read next and stare at a wall currently, I can show you the bookmarks I got in. These are the pageathon bookmarks that we created, and I'm obsessed with them. They are on Mel's Etsy shop. If there's any left, I will link them down below. There is the chance that if people really do like these, we could bring them back if we do something else in the future. But right now, there is no plan for that, and I would say that they are limited. However, I love these. These are some of my favorite bookmarks we've created. One that I'm really obsessed with is this 48-hour only one that is a billboard style. Like, it's meant to look like it's a billboard, and it says 48 hours only. This little book thing says just one more page, and there's like a readathon on there and a bunch of doodles. And what I personally love about this is I do 48-hour readathons for many things. I do them on my Patreon. I want to do some more just like by myself, and we also do some for like Realmathon, and I know Amazing Readathon has one. This is something I feel like a lot of people do, and I personally love the fact that I can use this for any readathon that is 48 hours and it'll feel like really good to use. So I'm a fan of this personally, and I think that we should make one that says 24 hours only, because I also do like a good 24-hour readathon. And then the other one is super cute. We had Monica's husband's friend Jelly create these emotes for us of our cats. Like, we did not draw this and she was paid for this, and then we made these little bookmarks that have our cat on them. And so these are all of our cats, all 8 of the cats we all own, because we all own 2 cats, and it looks so cute. I can see my little babies on this. And I think this is just like a lot of fun. If you like cats, it's fun, but then also if you know us, it's fun. And one of the redeems we had for this weekend was a pet treat, so people could give our pets a treat, and we got like a pet cam and stuff like that. So I feel like it really incorporated them and us, because we're all cat people, into the readathon. So yeah, very, very much obsessed with these. Okay, life worked in my favor because everyone did redeem the one where they get to pick our reads. And since I was in between books, I was like, me. And I requested earlier that they give me the most unhinged smut they could think of. I just feel like right now, personally, I need a pick-me-up. And I knew I would need that at some point during the readathon. So I was like, what's better than just hilariously unhinged dirty smut? So we did the little pick, and there's like a spreadsheet that has everybody's book that they wanted us to read. And then I had Siri randomize it on stream. And I've gotten my book picked for me. Drum roll please for our dirty smut. We will be reading Mating with Mallows, which is Peep, like the marshmallow candy smut. I have no idea what this is going to be about at all. Like, truly, I cannot wrap my head around how this is smut, but I will check back in with you in the next clip once I'm done. It's only 32 pages, so I will be finishing it really quickly, and I'm probably just gonna record my entire reactions reading it, and there probably will be spoilers, so I guess I can have you skip if you don't really care or want to skip over the spoiler part, because I think I'm just gonna sit my camera down and record the whole thing. But I do need to change the battery, so I'm gonna change the angle as well, because I do know that my battery is currently flashing at me. Oh, but look at this. We will be downloading this from KU to read. Look at those peeps. Okay. Who's ready to start this with me? I know the chat is reading this with me too, which is a lot of fun. A bunch of people were like, yeah, I'll read it. It's only 32 pages. Oh, it's downloading. Oh, okay. Chapter 1, here we go. Wasn't expecting chapters. I agree. This person is naming off all the candy she doesn't like, but she's just saying she doesn't like sweets. But all 3 of these candies, nasty. She's saying jelly beans, the chocolate egg stuffed with cream, and sugar-coated marshmallows. Ugh, I don't like any of those, but I do like sweets. have they been turned into men in marshmallow costumes? Because it says standing at least 6 feet tall, not including the ears, dripping with muscles coated in fine dusting of neon sugar, were 2 incredibly sexy marshmallow bunny men. I'm still picturing like a real bunny, just with like a 6-pack. The gooey gods. Okay, it does say that they have pillowy flesh, so they are just like giant peeps. Honestly, I could use a massage like this right now. If a peep wanted to come to life and give my shoulders a massage, I would not say no. I can't. Well, buckle up, sweetheart. We are no normal men. Yeah, you're made out of marshmallows. I had never been so full of marshmallow in my life. Do you think that she could have a marshmallow baby now? Like she could have a little peep baby? These are the questions I want to know, and I need to ask the author. I don't think that I need to be microwaving peeps after this, but I'm wondering if anyone, after they read this, put a peep in the microwave just to see. Just to see. Okay, I have no idea what to read now, but that was something. Good morning. I lost the plot last night. I ended up doom scrolling. I was on TikTok for probably about an hour and a half, like since I finished the Mating with Mallows until we went to bed, which we went to bed a little bit early, probably at like 10:30. I didn't read a single thing, and so I decided to pick up an audiobook this morning because I think that's my best bet, is a longer audiobook that I think I'm going to enjoy, because I think I'm having decision paralysis because I've read so many meh books in this 48 hours. Like I think Mating with Mallows was the most fun I've had, and then I was looking at my pile of possibilities and a lot of them were like 3 stars, I'm gonna like it but not be blown away books, and I want to win. So I was like, what is my best option? So I'm picking up the Court of Lies and Deceit, which is the 3rd book in this series that I have been enjoying. I've given all the books 4 stars. I think I always forget how much I do enjoy these, and I have the audiobook for this, so that will hopefully take me all the way to the end of the 48 hours. And also this morning I did also lose the plot a little bit because of course I had to watch weekend 2 of Coachella, and Justin Bieber's set was even better. Weekend 2. I cried weekend 1. I watched the full set in the morning of the Sunday on weekend 1, and this time I just kind of like watched the highlights. I watched the entire like YouTube section, and then I watched the highlights of everything else, like everything he brought out and stuff. But weekend 2, like the vibes were just vibing, and it's because it's real fans. Like the crowd was giving, and I loved that. But I feel like weekend 1 felt like Justin healing, and weekend 2 felt like him having fun with the fans, and like I don't know, it's just very exciting to see him so happy, especially performing, because if you look back on some of the videos in like past tours, he didn't look so happy. I think specifically like around Purpose, it didn't look like he was doing what he wanted to do. So I'm happy that he has like creative control and creative freedom. And he said see you soon at the end of this performance. Like what does that mean? Are we getting another album? Are we getting a single? I cannot see Justin going on tour. If you didn't know, he's like canceled 2 of his tours. He got really sick one. He's had like a lot of mental health issues. So I personally cannot see him going on tour. And he's kind of spoke out about this when he was doing like live streams on Twitch that I watched, because I have Bieber fever. I had a 3D poster of Justin Bieber on my wall. It like moved, and I have definitely spent time kissing that poster, and I probably shouldn't put that on the internet, but here I am. It was life-sized. I have a lot of Justin Bieber stuff. I have a Justin Bieber mug that I still use to this day when I make my coffees. I think there's a Justin Bieber like Barbie at my parents' house sitting on a shelf. I am a believer till the day I die. Bieber fever has never left me. It's a lifelong illness. I don't even know what I was saying anymore. Oh, that I watch his Twitch streams, and he talked about how like he would love to be able to do just like one-time shows because he does love performing. And if you watch like his friends talk about him, like they say that like he'll just like jump up and sing karaoke, he'll sing at weddings, like he loves to sing. So I wonder if he would do something that was like pop-ups, especially after watching his Coachella set that was like very much not a lot of like high budget things. Like obviously his like lighting and stages and like artists coming out are high budget, and he's making a good amount of money from Coachella, but he doesn't have like a lot of like moving parts to it other than just like him and like the background stuff that's always needed. But there's no like other dancers and things like that. Like it felt like very like chill, and I wonder if he would do something like that in like pop-up because they don't need this like long-lasting tour with like lots of stops to make the money and to make it worth it. So I wonder if we could just see him do like a pop-up every once in a while, like every month or so in like different places, because he's just saying like the way that touring is so draining on his mental health, which is like there's very little like time for freedom when you're touring as an artist. Like a lot of artists kind of talk about how toxic touring is. So I'm excited to see what See You Soon meant, if it meant anything or if he was just, you know, saying what you're supposed to say. But yeah, I had Bieber fever. He brought out Big Sean, and Billie Eilish was the One Less Lonely Girl, and Billie Eilish is a believer. Like Billie Eilish had posters of Justin Bieber on her wall, and they're friends now, but her reaction was just like every believer out there. Like I can't. It was incredible. It was amazing. Listen, my boyfriend at least kind of looks like Justin Bieber. Second best, you know? Okay, we're gonna read. I hate myself that I am this way, but I truly am just a series binger because this is book 3 and I feel like I would have liked this so much more if I had read it sooner to book 2. I do remember not 100% loving book 2 either. Like I gave it 4 stars and I remember thinking like this felt like a setup book and I was very excited for what was to come in this book. I don't think this is necessarily what I wanted when I said that. And then also we just jump right into their like romance again and them being in love and like touch her and die vibes, which is what I want in a story. But because it's been so long, I kind of struggled to just like bring the passion that these two characters have back in my brain. It took time to connect them together. So like truly, I hate that I just haven't picked this up sooner because like I think I could like this more if I had, but then also I'm not in like the greatest mood. But I'm on chapter 19, so I think I'm over halfway through, and this one has a weirder setup for me. I also think this book kind of like has like issues for me where like it's not consistent. Like in the first book, I remember everyone being like scared of her because she has this like ruthless, vicious power, and then over and over and over again it said that she's like weak because of this power and she's useless. And I don't think that's right, and I think we are supposed to see that her power is like stronger, but I just feel like there's a consistency in it. Like why are people scared of her then, you know? Like it makes no sense to me. And there was like a lack of consistency with one of the Fae bargains happening in this one where I was like, there's such an easy out of this because that was not covered in the bargain. And then also they were very predictable for me, and I just like haven't been that interested because it feels very, very, very predictable. In this book specifically, I feel like book 1 was predictable, but it was like exciting. Like I was very much interested in what was happening and their like relationship and things like this. I think this one feels a little bit like, it's not hot and heavy because they're not hot and heavy, but like they're too into each other for me, which I don't know what that says about me in romance. I do tend to prefer when they're like not in love yet, but then some stories do it really, really well for me when they are still in love because it keeps like who they were in the first one. Like it keeps like the bantering and the flirting, and that's what I want. Like I don't want them just to lose that like joking or like that vibe once they're together. So I'm not hating this, I'm not loving it, and I think it's a me problem, but I am working on my cardigan finally. I was supposed to be done this a long time ago and I'm not done it, so I'm doing the last part currently, which is the last ribbing and some button spots. So fingers crossed I can finish that. We are in the last stretch of the 48-hour readathon. We have 4 hours left, and I have been reading for 9.5 hours, and I think that that is really sad. I don't think that that is nearly enough time, and I don't know what I did for most of that time. I clearly haven't moved at all. We're about 10 hours into me listening now. I've made good progress though. I've also made good progress on the trim for this. They have a little buttonhole. I do think I'm gonna need to tighten this somehow, make it straighter. I'll have to figure that out because it looks a little wonky right there in my opinion. I wanted to update you because I feel like my last update on this book was a little depressy, and I feel like it is going better. I'm liking this like latter portion a little bit more. We're in some trials, and that's kind of what I liked about the first book is the trial setting. So now that we're back in the trials, I think they're fun. I feel like they're trials I've like read from before, but like they feel unique because it's more of like a group collaborative effort, which is something I feel like I haven't read. Like they're meant to work in a group, and it's like not really life or death for most people, but it is for them, and it's been set up pretty well. And then I also want to say I really do like the commentary on like the mate bond. I struggle with mate bonds a lot in books because I like the idea of free will and like free choice in romance. And I do think that I'm enjoying her perspective a little bit on it, and her perspective of it, of trying to figure out if it is just like the mate bond forcing her or if she really does feel these feelings and things like that. And I have been really enjoying that. So I just want to do a quick little update on that because I feel like my thoughts have been more positive the more I read. So I wanted to like keep that up, you know? Okay, back to reading. I got a book to finish before the end of this 48 hours. Frankie says, please, I'll be a good boy if you take my cone off, but I know you won't be a good boy and you're gonna lick the spot that you're not supposed to lick. We officially ended my reading. The 48-hour readathon actually goes for another hour, but I finished my book and I'm calling it quits here. I don't think I want to continue reading, I'm not gonna lie. I've had a weekend of very meh books. Even my final book ended up being a 3-star for me. I did like the middle part. I feel like the beginning was too long and the ending was too long for me and like kind of repetitive. And I just like wasn't the biggest fan. And I think it's me. I think I'm the problem. And I think it's clear because I read for only 12 hours in the 48 hours. Okay, so if I take 48 hours and I minus the 12 hours out of there, and then I probably slept, I think I slept 8 hours each night, but let's give me 9 hours each night. That's 18 hours that are unaccounted for. And like, yes, okay, we could probably give those like, I don't know, we talk for what, 15 minutes every sprint ending? And so like that does add up. But like what, take out 8 hours of that? That's still 10 hours that I don't know what I did for? That's crazy. That's crazy. That's criminal. What am I doing for 10 hours? I was on TikTok for like a sprint, 2 sprints, probably 2 hours of that. I guess I ate during one of it. Maybe I'm being harder on myself than I should be because I did eat, but I didn't do a lot else. I don't know. I feel like I should have read for longer than that. I don't think I should ever do this challenge ever again. Do I want to know how much I'm actually reading in these? No. I will say I feel like I was reading less. I was less excited to read because my books were so meh. Like sometimes in these I'm reading a book and like I want to just keep reading. I like will tell the people on sprints that we need to get to a sprint sooner because like I want to get back into my book, and that was not the feeling. I spent a lot of time between books trying to figure out what I wanted to read because I was really struggling. And even with this final book of this vlog, which was an anticipated sequel that I was excited for, I still felt like it felt very meh. Like I'm giving it 3 stars. I don't know. I think also it ends on a cliffhanger for something I don't like in books. Like the plot that it's going to is like really something I dislike for the setup of the 4th book. So like I'm not super excited about that either. And I just think that it was wrong timing. It was a lot of meh. And I also don't remember if I listened to the audiobooks for 1 and 2, but this time I really didn't enjoy the audiobook narrator. But I literally can't remember if I read these physical or not. I want to say I read the first one physically, but I don't remember if I read the second one through audio or not. But maybe I also didn't like the second one as much as the first, and maybe it's the audiobook narrator if I listened to it. It wasn't my favorite weekend in terms of reading. However, it's one of my favorite readathons I think I've done. I have never been in sprints that felt so engaged and in the zone. We consistently had viewers that were talking and yapping and chatting, and it felt like people were excited to be there with us and excited to hang out and like have a slumber party with us essentially. So that was one of my favorite things. And if you enjoyed pageathon, if you participated, please let me know down below, because hearing that people like things encourages us to do them more often because they are work. Like I won't sit here and say that this was no work. Like yes, it's fun, it's a slumber party, but I'm also live for probably 30 hours of this. We were live from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Saturday. We were live from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. on Friday, and we were live from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Sunday. Like that's a lot of being live. And so we don't really get a break because we're reading during the reading parts and then we're on screen for the like yapping part. There's a pip in a box here. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of fun, but it's work, and it's worth it if people enjoy it. So please let me know if you enjoyed it. Very intrigued to hear that. And if you missed it, let us know if you'd like to participate next time. I will leave my co-hosts link down below because extra thank you to all of them who hosted sprints and stuff because I couldn't. And then they will all have videos coming out like this one that are yapping about their weekend reading. And I know some of them had a better weekend for reading than I did. Wish me a 5-star in the future. Like, wish me one coming. I feel like when I have this mode of like burnout, I just am thinking that in the future I'm gonna get like 4 or 5 stars. Like, karma has to come back, you know? But anyways, I'll leave my last 48-hour vlog on the screen for you to check out, and I hope you have an absolutely remarkable day. And leave me a book emoji if you just want to leave me a comment.